You know, guys, I had a really tough time reading this one. That being the New York Times article involving 100 Thieves, apparently following the team for about a year to produce this article, which is pretty crazy because nothing was, in my opinion, really revealed besides a few tidbits here and there. Alongside that, don't get me started on the whole title change. If you guys saw the initial release of this article, which is a big deal, not only for 100 Thieves, esports and gaming in general, they said the biggest prize, the initial title, was the biggest prize in esports, talent. That's why they show the mob in that thumbnail as well. And then they eventually changed the title of the article in classic New York Times fashion to say, how to make billions in esports. That's billions with a B. By the way, we struggle to see any profitable organizations currently in esports, and I believe the biggest revenue I've seen from any organization is not even breaking 50 million. But yeah, let's just title it, you know, how to make billions, because that's reasonable. Yeah, as you can see, it really pissed me off. Besides that, though, for 100 Thieves fans out there, still a very cool article. One thing that I dive into, and our team actually found about this, was Yassuo's deal with 100 Thieves might be a bit precarious. I'm not really sure what his future might be. I think it's going to be a short-term deal so far. Yassuo might not forever be a 100 Thieves member, as he still tries to approach the pro or competitive League of Legends scene, as he has done countless times in his past. Alongside that, if you guys are a fan of the channel, I talked about this not too long ago. That being, FaZe Clan does not pay all their members. In fact, when it comes to creative or content creators, they don't pay nearly all of those guys. It's kind of a mutual exchange. You get the FaZe name, you get the exposure through that name, and you make them content. It's kind of a mutual benefit of things. They don't pay you in money, they pay you with their name. It was a super cool thing to actually have on this channel that, you know, I probably should have known about beforehand, but we have now confirmed that FaZe Clan does not pay all their members. They actually pay a lot of them with just the FaZe name. Is 100 Thieves doing the same thing? I don't actually think so. Because this article is so weirdly worded, though, they actually talk about Yassuo in this and actually refer to him as quiet and nice or kind, which is very ironic if you guys are a fan of his. Of course, yes, in person, I'm sure he is obviously maybe a bit more shy, maybe a bit more nice when New York Times reporters are around, but it is funny nonetheless to think about him as being quiet and kind. You guys know what I mean. Either way, though, they also talk about, of course, when it comes time for being a competitive pro and what they refer to as a lifestyle gamer, aka a content creator, what Mo is currently doing, like many others are, but also being on the fringe of also being a pro player, right? They compare Yassuo to the likes, or I guess I'm comparing him to the likes of a guy like Tyler One, maybe a guy like Ninja. You can certainly compete here and there at the top level, but also create content. It's a rarity, right? There are only a hand select full, or at least maybe a couple handfuls of top content creators that are also potentially slipping into some events and actually playing the top level here and there. And I would say Yassuo was certainly one of them. What they continue to talk about and where they lost me is apparently at the restaurant when Nadeshot was talking about Yassuo's future. The New York Times writer then says that Nadeshot did not mention this, but he was offering Yassuo what he called support. Yassuo is still struggling to choose between going pro, sticking with 100 Thieves, or going on his own, and Nadeshot apparently was offering him the team around him to push his socials, push his videos, you know, produce other content as well, providing everything he needs existentially or externally from himself to produce and be the best himself possible. And then lastly, does close on and actually ask Yassuo, does he still want to go pro? He is now reconfirmed. I don't know how old his statement in the article is, because the article was done and composed over a year-long period, but he does reconfirm that he still potentially wants to go pro, which again, he has said several times in the past, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. And so why this actually makes me think, because the article said that Nadeshot was offering him support, and I'm not really sure what they meant by that, but it made me think of FaZe Clan and how they offer support, they offer exposure, they don't always offer money. Now, am I saying that 100 Thieves is not paying Yassuo? No, I'm sure they probably are. When it comes time for the future, though, I guess the biggest thing to take from this, especially for 100 Thieves and Yassuo fans, you know, is he still trying to go pro? Will he go pro? Is the giant question. It's certainly cool to see guys that have that debate inside of them. Even though he is making so much money, you know, content creating and streaming on his own, he still wants to win things. He still wants to go out there and compete, which is very, very cool. Ninja's had that debate. He stepped back from being a pro. I talked about a guy like TP from Call of Duty. He was actually a pretty successful Call of Duty coach. He himself also chose to go full-time streaming because money and, of course, the ease of that being compared to being a competitor, it's a lot easier for a lot of these guys to do that instead of trying to go pro in their esport. So I guess I'll end it on this. I think 100 Thieves is obviously paying Yassuo, but with this being brought up, I don't know if Yassuo is going to be a 100 Thieves member for much longer if he does want to go pro, and will he? That's a question for all of you guys. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy. Ironically enough, when this video does go live, I believe I will be in LA with my buddies visiting the 100 Thieves facility. That's pretty cool. Until next time, take care, drink your coffee. I'll be back here sometime soon.